रामानुजदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुग्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगळं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना। भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वयभट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसार कुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकाल यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। प्रतिभट श्रेणि भीषण वरगुणस्तोम भूषण जनिभयस्तान तारण जगदवस्थान कारण निखिल दुष्कर्म कर्षण निगम सद्धर्म दर्शन जय जय श्री सुदर्शन जय जय श्री सुदर्शन। This is a beautiful composition by the polymath of the 13th century called Vedanta Deshika, who dedicated this composition to Sudarshana, the discourse of Sriman Narayana, being an ashtakam, a composition of 8 verses followed by the Phalashruti. This has been time and again recommended by our acharyas for mental peace. Of course, you know that a lecture is more or less a monologue. I keep speaking, and towards the end you'll realize the lecture is over. So, since this is the Ubodghatam of the lecture, I will recite the composition. So when I do this, you just have to say Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana, Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana. If we say it as Sudarshana, it is Strilingam. Sudarshan, then it is incomplete Samskrita Shabdam. So, Sudarshana, Jaya Jaya, Shri Sudarshana. You can try. Recite it in the same meter in which I recite. The Tadam should be complete. Pratibhata Shreni Bhishana Varagunastoma Bhushan Jani Bhayastana Taran Jagadavasthana Karan Nikhila Dushkarma Karshana Nigama Saddharma Darshana Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana Shubha Jagat Rupa Mandana Suragana Trasa Khandana Shatamaka Brahma Vandita Shatapatha Brahma Nandita Prathita विद्वत्स पक्षित भजदहिर बुद्धिन्य लक्षित जय जय श्री सुदर्शन जय जय श्री सुदर्शन स्फुटतटि जाल पिंजर पृथुतर ज्वाल पंजर परिगत प्रज्ञ विग्रह पटुतर प्रज्ञ दुग्रह प्रहरण ग्राम मंडित परिजन त्राण पंडित जय जय श्री सुदर्शन जय जय श्री सुदर्शन निज पद प्रीत सद्गण निरुपधि स्फीत षड्गुण निगम निर्व्यूढ़ वैभव निज पर व्यूह वैभव हरिहय द्वेषी दारण हरपुर प्लोष कारण जय जय श्री सुदर्शन जय जय श्री सुदर्शन धनुज विस्तार कर्तन जनित मिस्त्रा विकर्तन धनुज विद्या निकर्तन भजद विद्या निवर्तन अमर दृष्ट स्व विक्रम समर जुष्ट भ्रमिक्रम जय जय श्री सुदर्शन जय जय श्री सुदर्शन प्रतिमुखालीढ बंधुर पृथुमहा हेति दंतुर विकट माया बहिष्कृत विविध माला परिष्कृत स्थिर महायंत्र तंत्रित दृढ़ दया तंत्र यंत्रित जय जय श्री सुदर्शन जय जय श्री सुदर्शन महि सदक्षर विहित संपत् षडक्षर षडर चक्र प्रतिष्ठित सकल तत्व प्रतिष्ठित विविध संकल्प कल्पक विबुध संकल्प कल्पक
जय जय श्री सुदर्शन जय जय श्री सुदर्शन
भुवन नेत्रस्त्रयीमय सवन तेजस्त्रयीमय निरवधि स्वचिन्मय निखिल शक्ते जगन्मय अमित विश्वक्रियामय शमित विश्वभयामय जय जय श्री सुदर्शन जय जय श्री सुदर्शन द्विचतुष्कमिदं प्रभूतसारं पठतां वेंकटनायक प्रणीतं विषमेपि मनोरथ प्रदावन् न विहन्ये रथांग दुर्यगुप्तः नमस्सदसे नमस्सभाये with the abundant blessings of Paramatma Shriyapati, we have gathered in this very sacrosanct premises of Bhagavan Paramatma, and as I listen to the announcement being made, there is going to be a shift of all the Devata Murtis, Divyamangala Vigraha Murtis to a newer location. So, I have been fortunate to come to this premises. Probably, had I come a week later, I would not have been in this beautiful premises where many Bhagavatottamas would have visited in these last few years. The topic chosen for today is Sudarshana Vaibhavam, the greatness of Bhagavan's Chakrayudham. Swasankalpa kalakalpaihi ayudhaihi ayudheshwaraha जुष्टः षोडशभिर्दिव्यै जुषताम्बः परः पुमान् यदायत्तं जगच्चक्रं कालचक्रं च शाश्वतं पातु वः तं परं चक्रं चक्ररूपस्य चक्रिणः, says Vedanta Deshika. The topic chosen for tomorrow, same time 6:30, will be Tyagaraja Ramayanam. Tyagaraja was a great saint poet who was born 250 years back in the southern state of Tamil Nadu. He was a Telugu-speaking Vaidika who had mastered many languages. He chose the beautiful Telugu language to convey his devotion to Paramatma, whom he saw in Rama. So Ramayanam will be presented, and it will be through the beautiful esoteric verses of Tyagaraja Swami. Today it is Sudarshana Vaibhavam. There is a beautiful temple that is dedicated during the Gupta period. Gupta dynasty ruled somewhere around the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th centuries in Uttara Bharatam, in the north of India, in Bharatadesha. While most temples were lost to invasions and plundering, one temple has remarkably withstood the invasion, and it is still visible to devotees, for devotees to attend. Though it's not in a worshipable state, we do see many panels filled with sculptures that have a lot of teaching for us. One such temple is the Dashavatara Swami temple in Devgarh, in that border between Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. If you ask the Sarvajna, Sarvavyapi Google Acharya, that Acharya has now been joined by an Upacharya called Artificial Intelligence. So Grok 4 or Ask Perplexity will also do the job well. So if you ask him for the Devgarh temple in Google, it will point out to a beautiful panel of the 5th century, 1500 plus years old, where you see Mahavishnu on the serpent couch in a reclining posture, and below that Ananta Shayana Vishnu are 5 men. Please ask them to join as well. Tell him he's after all not that bad. So 5 men and 1 woman. You see that in that panel. So the moment we see iconography, 5 men and 1 woman, we could be reminded of the times of Mahabharata, where there are Pancha Pandavas, 3 sons of Kunti, 2 sons of Madri, Dhritarashtra, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva, that 1 woman being Draupadi, Yajnaseni or Krishna. But this is very different. In Agama Shastra, we don't treat these as weapons. It is not an AK-47, S-400, Rafale, F-35. These are all Ayudha Purushas. We treat them as a deity in themselves. So the 5 men and the 1 woman who stand in that panel of that 5th century Gupta dynasty are depictive of the Panchayudhas that Bhagavan possesses. So if you look at that panel when you go to that temple in Bharata Desha, besides the time that we need to spend on Usman Road and Maradpalli or Jubilee Hills or Malleshwaram and Baswangudi, if we have little time to attend to some of these beautiful temples that are in a way meant for us to understand our scriptures better, please do visit this Devghat temple. There are 5 men, 1 woman. There is 1 man who will be standing like this. Who will be standing like this. This posture means Kim Karavani. What should I be doing? Kim Karavani. What should I do? Kim, what should I do? Don't think Kim is just of North Korea. So Kim is also, while I was in Bombay, I was called to an Astika's house and they introduced their grandson. And they said, he is my grandson. His name is Kim. With that scholastic arrogance, I just had a smirk to myself and I said, what name is it? Kim. I go home and as a daily ritual, when I took up to the Vishnu Sahasranamam, just skim through the pages. Eko Naika Sava Ka Kim. Kim is one of the namas of Bhagavan. So in a way, Kim Jong has roots in Dharma. He could be related to one of the households, though he may be the rocket man. So, Kim. So here, Kim is what? It is a name, it is a proper noun. It is also a word that indicates a question, right? In English, you have the word wood, which is that which is found in the forest. What you gather from the trees is wood. But when you add an S to it, it becomes a collective noun. So you say when he has gone into the woods, it doesn't mean exactly wood, it means he has gone into the forest. There are men who are called Mr. Wood, right? So, like how a word can become a common noun, a proper noun and a collective noun, Kim is Bhagavan's nama and also means what? Kim Karavani, what should I do? So the person who keeps asking what should I do, Kim Karavani, is called Kim Kara. You must have heard of people called Kinkaras. So there's one, of the 5 men, there's one who stands like this, telling Bhagavan, I will do whatever you want. He is Sudarshana Chakra, because he's always ever ready. We used to get batteries in Bharata Desham, I don't know you get them here, ever ready batteries. So he's always ready. There's another person who holds his arm on the shoulder in that sculpture, which means he is the bow, because your bow is always held here. So he's the bow called Sharanga. So chakra is called Sudarshana. The bow is called Sharanga. For the bow you need a quiver of arrows. What will you, without the arrows, what purpose will the bow serve? So there's another person who holds the quiver of arrows. Next to that is another person who takes the sword from the skaba. So he is the sword called Nandakam. Nandaka is the name of Bhagavan's sword. There is one person towards the end in the panel who will be supervising all of them. He is Panchajanya, the Shankha, the conch. There is one woman. I've told you the 5 men, because there is a combination of the bow and the quiver of arrows, which is Shargam. There is a sword called Nandaka. There is a discus called Sudarshana. All of this is there. Shankha is there. Then who is that lady? In Samskrita Bhasha, in the language, the word Gada is Strilinga because it has that R towards the end, right? Kaumodaki. It is again Strilingam. So the Gada is represented, the mace is represented as a woman. So this panel in the temple, which is 1500 years old of the Gupta dynasty, clearly suggests that Shastras have not confined themselves to treating these Ayudhas as weapons alone. They are Ayudha Purushas. Hence, in a temple that adheres to Agama Shastra, be it Vaikhanasa or Pancharatra, Sudarshana is depicted as the one who has got 16 Ayudhas. Sudarshana himself is an Ayudha. That Ayudha will have 16 hands. You must have seen that circular depiction in a temple where the Purusha stands with 16 Ayudhas. He is called Shodasha Ayudha Purushaha, the one who has got 16 Ayudhas. This Ayudha Purusha called Sudarshana is the topic of the day. Who is this Sudarshana? If you get deep into the scriptures, it is Bhagavan who is himself Sudarshana. Sir, why should he transform into Sudarshana? Because when my mother and grandmother used to make such delicious dishes for me, I was a person who used to keep criticizing something or the other. I would say this is okay, this is kind of okay, this is interesting. When I came to the US for the first time, I thought, reading the pages of Wren and Martin, I thought interesting means interesting. Little did I realize that interesting is something that you would never want to taste again. So with all these adjectives that I would add to dishes, my grandmother made a statement. She's no more. Her Atma left the physical Panchabhautika Sharira in 2017. She didn't have to get to see the Sarvavyapi Corona. So she used to tell, now that you have a rigmarole of mistakes that you find in the food, it is better that you yourself become your own cook. So you will have to incarnate as your own cook. So if Bhagavan had to have an Ayudha, he would be nitpicking on the Ayudha. So Mahalakshmi said, you become your own Ayudha. So Bhagavan became his own Ayudha, and that Ayudha is called Sudarshana. The word can be split in two ways. Sudarshana, Sukaram. Whenever you add the prefix Su in Sanskritam, it means something which is very charming, brilliant, beautiful. When Vishwamitra wakens Rama in the middle of the forest, he has to call him, Rama, wake up. But being a poet and they had ample time and they knew how to compose poetry, they took this opportunity in their hands and they composed. They said, "Oh, good son of Kaushalya, wake up. Kausalya Supraja Rama." I don't think we wake up our children that way. Oh, the one who has got eyes akin to the petals of a newly blossomed lotus, wake up, the bus has come. Do we ever do that? But Vishwamitra had all the time and he had the ability to compose poetry, good poetry that too. So he said Kausalya Supraja. Praja means son. But the prefix needs to be carefully added. We are not sure if we can honestly add that prefix Su to our children, right? Supraja, good child, obedient. Kausalya Supraja, Sugandha. Gandha is smell. Gandha is just smell. Sugandha is good smell. Tamil பேசக்கூடிய வார்த்தைங்க in Tamil, I'll deal with every language. See, such dharmic lectures should become a beautiful potpourri or a medley of beautiful Bharatiya languages. We should learn to exchange and learn new languages instead of confining ourselves to our own mother tongues and slapping people who don't learn them. Is not the way any civilization or civilized society goes ahead. So, in Tamil, the word for smell is natram. But we don't, colloquially we say natam. The right word is natram. Andal says, Karpuram narumo, Kamala punarumo, திருப்பவள செவ்வாய்தான் தித்தித்து இருக்குமோ மறுபொசித்த மாதவன் தன் வாய்ச்சுவையும் நாற்றமும் விரிப்புற்று கேட்கின்றேன் சொல்லாழி வெண்சங்கே. Natram means smell, but in the current day context natram means bad smell. Natram doesn't mean bad smell. Durnatram only means bad smell. Similarly, in Sanskritam, gandham doesn't mean good smell. Sugandham only means good smell. So, su is a prefix that is added for something that is brilliant, charming, good. What is the opposite? The opposite is ku. Ku in Sanskritam is generally prefixed for words where you don't find a good quality or something that is very positive. Mars, the red planet, in Sanskrita Bhasha is called Kuja. Ravi, Sashi, Kuja, Buddha, Guru, Shukra, Shanaishchara, Rahu, Ketu, Netaram, Rajakumaram, Ramam, Pavanajatam, Abanijamanoharam. Kuja, Janma, birth. His birth in Shastras is believed. There's a belief that Shiva's sweat touched earth and was born Mars. This is the belief. Sweat, though people go to saunas and steam, you get detoxified in naturopathy with sweat. Swedanam is a part of Panchakarma in Ayurveda. All that is there, good. But sweat is regarded as a sign of destitution, poverty. So when Shiva's drop of sweat fell on Bhumi and Bhumi gave rise to Mars, Mars is regarded as the son of Earth. Mangalavaram Bhumi Kumaram Varam Varam Angarakamashayamyaham. He's called Angaraka. Tomorrow is Tuesday. So Angaraka Varam. He is regarded as the son of earth. Since he was born of sweat, that sweat is something that is not very superior, he is called Kuja. So Ku is a prefix, something for very inferior. Like how in Bhagavata Mahapuranam, Krishna had a great friend during his school days, ashrama days. He was called Kuchela. But that was not his original name, because Kuchela means the one who is poorly dressed. Nobody will christen or name their son, oh poorly dressed one. Yeah, so Chela means Vastram. Telugu Bhashalo Chela ante Telugu varu unnara ikkada? See, Telugulo Chela ante emandi? Chela ante Vastram kada. Chela in Tamil lo kuda gramathula ellam oraina Chela vandirukingla appadina keppa. So Chela means Vastram. When you bring two different pieces of cloth together and stitch them, today it is called designer. That's what Sabyasachi sells, or Ritu Kumar. But in those days, if you bring two pieces of cloth together, it was a sign of poverty. Since he was so poor that he couldn't afford a single strand of cloth and had to bring two pieces of cloth together, he was called the poorly dressed one, Kuchela. So Kuja, Kuchela, Ku is a prefix for something that is very inferior. Su is a prefix for something which is very superior. So when you look at him, how grand is he? Extremely brilliant, extremely grand. Darshana is to see. How is his Darshana? Brilliant. Sudarshana. So Su is the prefix that says that he is extremely brilliant. So somebody who is brilliant should always be with us. See, when you rely on a person who is extremely street smart all through your life, for one day if the person is missing, you will feel as if you are left handicapped. You do not know what to do without that person. So such a brilliant person, who is extremely good to look at, who is extremely skilled, adroit in nature, should be with Bhagavan all through his journey. That is why Sudarshana comes with Bhagavan in all avatarams. What is the first avataram? Matsya. It is said when Somakasura, also his name was Hayagriva. No sir, we thought Hayagriv तो भगवान का अवतार है ना, अब क्या असुर का नाम Hayagriv बता रहे हैं? See, name is that of Bhagavan, but an asura's mother would have given the name to her child Hayagriva, assuming he will become a good person. Yeah, people will call their son Ram. He may turn out to be Ravan, but my parents can't help, right? They go, so naming. So there was an asura called Hayagriva. He is said to have taken away all the knowledge that Brahma had bequeathed when Brahma yawned. This is a Dharma Shastra rule. In structured lectures such as this, we know we begin at 6:30. I know I have to end at 8:30. I know people have work. They have to go home. So I know. Whereas when we used to learn Shastram from our teachers, there was no specific time that they'll begin at this time and end at this time. But Shastram says the teacher has to stop disseminating knowledge when the student yawns. So we knew this. We knew when to yawn. So, but don't try that with me. So when you yawn, Shastram says you will manage to forget what you have learned till then. So Brahma yawned. Why? Because he was tired of continuous production. A lot of it happened in China and India. Then there was no question of tariffs. So the production happened. And Brahma yawned and that knowledge went away, and that knowledge was taken by Hayagriva. That is when Bhagavan saw that the knowledge had gone in the form of bubbles, and all this is probably something that's beyond our realm of understanding. We can just say that Bhagavan incarnated as the fish, Matsya. Now he had a twofold purpose. One, to retrieve the Vedas. Second, to annihilate this particular person. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam. But whenever and wherever Bhagavan goes, he ensures that he carries somebody as brilliant, as adroit, as skilled as Sudarshana. But how will the fish carry? It has got fins. Suddenly you cannot have two human hands behind. So this is a unicorn fish, says Bhagavatam. It had one horn. Ekashringi. Shringa means horn. So unicornus nemura is the binomial nomenclature of a fish that has got a single horn. So Bhagavan incarnated as a fish with a single horn with beautiful eyes. Fish. Generally people say if people have beautiful eyes, they say fish like eyes. Now fish has beautiful eyes. So what will I use as a simile? Fish had beautiful eyes. So this fish went on a sojourn and through its horn managed to kill that asura. So that Sudarshana was in the horn. Sudarshana was in the horn. So Shastram says, Sudarshanam asya iti Sudarshana sushobhanam nivaranartham. So he came in the horn. Let's take Kurma. Kurma had the tattoo of Shankam and Chakram. He didn't have to use Sudarshana. Like David Beckham, he had full tattoos. So there was Shanka Chakra Mudra. Next came Varaha. When Bhuma Devi is said to have been troubled and parts of her were submerged in the deluge waters, that is when Uddhritasi Varahena Krishnena Shatabahuna, Bhagavan incarnated as a wild boar, and that wild boar's horns were filled with Chakrayudham, the strength of Chakra, and he was able to annihilate Hiranyaksha. Next came another avatar. This is a very interesting avatar because there was a little boy called Prahlada. His father was exactly opposite him. So, what all qualities he possessed, the father was exactly opposite of all of that. His name was Hiranyakashipu. His body's complexion was as yellow as molten gold. Molten gold is called Hiranya. So since he had a yellow hue to his complexion, he was called Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu had a nice wife called Kayadu. Hiranyakashipu refused to go to temples, the wife used to go. Something very similar to Tamil Nadu. So, now, this Hiranyakashipu, he propitiated Brahma. Brahma was the most approachable and quickly Varapradata deities. He was Ashutoshi. Ashutoshi means easily impressible. If you go to the state of Maharashtra, you will come across various astikas, men especially, called Ashutosh. So Brahma was Ashutoshi. So when Hiranyakashipu propitiated, Brahma appeared and asked, you all know that story. Today when I was entering my host's house, they were watching Bhakta Prahlada. So in Bhakta Prahlada movie, there will be a beautiful depiction of what Hiranyakashipu or Brahma would grant. He said that I should not die. Hiranyakashipu. Will somebody ask boon like this? No, see, if you are perpetually living, imagine the state of the family members. You go to somebody's house and you ask, sir, who is this man? Don't know, sir, 7 generations back. By then the yellow line metro would have also not gotten over in Bangalore. Yellow line open Madi says Tejasvi Surya. Where will they Madi? He said I should never die. Then Brahma said, see, the boon may seem very interesting, but I should have the ability to grant, because I am also prone to death. When I am not eternal in nature, what boon will I grant you? So he said, ask your boon in a different way. In engineering, there is a concept called optimization technique. So in optimization, when you are not able to come to the right solution, you optimize the given constraints. So that is when he deployed this technique. I don't know which engineering college Hiranyakashipu went to. Muttumari Engineering College, Mudichur Road near Kanchipuram. So he went and he said, I should not die during the day, not during the night. Neither inside my house nor outside my house. Neither in the space that we all see nor on earth. Neither in the hands of a human nor an animal. When I went to Seattle, they said, Swami, don't go that often outside when bear is going outside. So that bear can't kill Hiranyakashipu. I should not be killed by any object that is animate or inanimate. So if I throw a black mamba, what is that snake from Australia? It's a very poisonous snake. Really good. Mamba, you throw, it bites, he won't die. If you shoot at him, he won't die. Brahma got petrified. He said, this man is asking another form of being eternal. Finally, he said, I should not be killed by anybody who has been created by you. Brahma took a sigh because he knew if there's somebody who has created me, that person who has created me doesn't fall under the ambit of my creation. Right? In set theory, there's something called A complement. In universal set, if A is a subset, then there's something called A complement. So there's somebody who's beyond me, who has created me, who doesn't fall under my ambit. He said, "Theek hai, de diya tumhe bar. Thank you," and he left. That is when he returned home, his wife said, "Well, you left for the penance. I was in my first trimester. But by the time you have come, I have delivered my son." Narada has given him the name Prahlada. Ahlada Shita Netrayambu. Ahlada means happiness. Prahlada means one who enhances the happiness. He is like an enzyme. So he is called Prahlada. Now we know what all happened with Prahlada. Prahlada was very, very steadfast in devotion. And he said, Trailokyam Akhilam Narasimha Garbham. Bhagavan is true. Bhagavan's greatness is true. All that he said. Father denied. Sashulaira Vidha Subahumahito Diggajaganaihi Mahasarpai Damshtropi, says Narayana Bhattatri Narayaniyam. The father tortured him. He said, I need to pierce you with a sharp trident. I need to get you trampled from the mad elephants that keep rushing towards you. He tried everything. Elephants took a reverse gear and went back. Trident bent. In India, that's a hotel chain. So, trident bent. Snakes bit him and they died. So, everything that the father tried, nothing worked in. It didn't help the purpose, achieve the purpose. Finally, he asked his son, Kahan hai Hari? He said, Papa, I've been telling you all this while. He's there within you and within me. Don't tell me all this. This man didn't clear his exams. He was very weak in logic. So he said, tell me one particular place. Is he there in this pillar? Because he had supervised the construction of the pillar. He was absolutely sure nobody could have gone within it. So is he there? He said, Papa, he's there within everything. He must be there in this pillar as well. Then he struck the pillar. Stambhe ghattayato hiranyakashipo karnau sama churnachan agurna jagadanda kunda kuharo ghorastava bhudrava shutvayam kila daityarada hrudaye purvakadapyashrudam kampah kaschana sampapada daitosma ambhoja bhuvishtarat, says Narayana Bhattatri Narayaniyam. Narayaniyam is from a beautiful state called Kerala. Tangal Kerala mande. So 24th and 25th Dashakam of Narayaniyam talks about Narasimha. So the pillar was struck and like a dicotyledon, it broke into two. And Narasimha appeared. Now he had to suffice all the conditions that Brahma has granted. Bhagavan could have chosen to not follow those rules. Then nobody will respect Brahma. Right? Then they'll say, see, Brahma atra yen kelbedi sir. Yen kotreni yen agala nodbi. ಎಷ್ಟು ವಾರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದವರಿದ್ದಾರಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೇನು ಹೀಗೆ ಡೆಡ್ಲೈನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ ಸೊ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಡಿ. So Bhagavan had to come at a time which is a transition stage from the day to the night. It is called Pradosham. You must have heard, after Ekadashi, Dvadashi, which we had, there will be Pradosha Samayam. Andiyam Podil, Ariguruvagi, Ariyai Adittavanai, Pandanai Tira Pallattu. So Pradosham is a transition stage from the day to the night. That stage is neither day nor night. In chemistry, we come across such chemical reactions where from SN2 to SN1 mechanism, the carbon leaves a hydrogen and takes a halogen. It's called a transition phase, which is neither this nor that. Then he chose to sit on the doorstep, which is neither inside the house nor outside the house. He chose to put him on his lap, which is neither space nor earth. He came in the form of man lion, which is neither Purna Manushya Sharira nor Purna Mriga Sharira. Akanthamadi Purusham Kanthiravam Uparikuntitaratim Vegopakantha Sangat Vimukta Vaikuntha Bahumati Mupase, says Vedanta Deshika. Everything was done, but there is this problem with the Ayudha. He said, I should neither be killed by an animate or inanimate one. That is when Bhagavan chose the nails. Because barring the cuticle portion, everything else is regarded as a conglomerate of dead cells. That is why when they keep growing, when the cuticle pushes and the nail keeps growing, when you keep cutting the nails, you don't feel the pain. If you cut the finger, you will feel the pain, but not the nail. But is nail living? We can say yes, the cuticle portion, because it has the ability to push and grow. So growth shows there is something living, but painlessness shows that it is as insentient as what matter can get. So these nails were used. That is when Bhagavan thought that Sudarshana should be within my nails. That is why Mahadeva says in Mantraraja Padastotram, Kharagre Shakali Chakri Sarvairavadhyatam Praptam Savalaugham Dite Sutam Nakhagraihi Shakali Chakre Yastam Viram Namamyam. Bhagavan's chakra entered the nails. So smart, brilliant people accompany Bhagavan everywhere. In the horn of Matsya, in the tattoo of Kurma, in the horns of Varaha, in the nails of Narasimha. So Sudarshana is there. Now this Prahlada was protected by Nrisimha. Prahlada being an ardent devotee, Bhagavan said, Fikar mat karo, ajao Prahlad, beto. On one side he is tearing the father. This boy is petrified. One side murder is happening. This other side he says, Fikar mat karo, kya chahiye, kaun se mall jana hai, bolo, which book you want, Chamber of Secrets or Prisoner of Azkaban, bolo. On the other side he is tearing. This is called Aghatita Ghatana Samarthyam. The ability to bridge two things which are absolutely opposite in nature. See, if somebody, we are in a good mood and the child keeps troubling, don't come near me, I'm in a good mood, don't get me angry, don't come near me. This is one way of saying, or you're extremely angry. You're throwing tantrums. And suddenly you cannot give that smile. Right? You need some time for the transition. But here Narasimha was tearing Hiranyakashipu. With another hand he is patting Prahlada. So this Prahlada said, you should extend this love that you're showering on me towards my legacy as well. He said, ठीक है, grant कर दिया, ले लो. Then he took that low. Lay low, he took. This Prahlada had a grandson called Bali. Now this Bali Chakravarti and Vamana Avataram I have told in many of my lectures. I don't know how many of you might have listened. Nothing great. If you have not listened, you have not missed anything. So, Bali Chakravarti's Charitram, which is often associated with Bhagavan's Avataram of Vamana and Trivikrama. We are often told that Bali Chakravarti Vamana Avataram happened in Kerala, God's own country. But as per Puranas, Vamana Avataram did not happen in Kerala. It happened in Siddhashram, which is in the current day Bihar. Lallu may like it or not, but it happened in Bihar. This is what Purana suggests, Itihasam suggests, because Kerala is a reclaimed territory. Like how in Mumbai, we have Bandra reclamation. This is a reclaimed land. Parashurama did that. That is called Kerala Kshetram. So that happened much later. So Vamana was born in Siddhashramam, which is Bihar. He was born to a couple called Aditi and Kashyapa. This couple had this son called Vamana. Vamana in Sanskritam means dwarf. Have you heard of Himashweta and Saptavamana? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? That is only Himashweta and Saptavamana. Important charitram for moksha that we all have to read. Haven't you read the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? No, we recently took my daughter to that movie also. These are all mandated Shastra granthams that we all have to learn. Twinkle, twinkle. And the Kannagareil oru aadu irukume. Baba Black Sheep. And if you go to the next level, then you'll have to listen to Coldplay. And just pray that they don't show anything on the screen. So, Vamana means dwarf. When the pituitary gland, medical practitioners say, it doesn't function that well, malfunctions. Then you end up having a stunted growth and you're called a dwarf. The dwarf is called Vamana. So Vamana's Upanayanam was over, thread ceremony. Poonalnu Julmo. Endana Keralathil? ಪೂಣನ್. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಮುಂಜಿಯಲ್ವ? ಉಪನಯನ. ಉಪನಯನ ಅದು ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಮುಂಜಿ ಅಲ್ವೇ? ಮುಂಜಿ. తెలుగులో ఏం చెప్తారండి? ఇది ఉపవీతం, అది ఉపనయన. పూనూలు జనేయు. జనేయు அது வந்து கொஞ்சம் நார்த் போயிடுவோம். ஜனவார. So Janavara, so Janeyu. So Vamana underwent that Janeyu ceremony. Now there is a point here. I just pick your brains. Shastram says when you are born a human at a certain age, through the Brahmopadesham that happens through your father, you undergo Upanayana. But Hanuman is a Vanara. Correct? Hanuman is a Vanara. Hanuman had Janeyu, says Tulsidas in Hanuman Chalisa. Correct? What is that line? Janeyu Saje, Moonj Janeyu Saje. Correct? See, humans should do Sandhya Vandanam. Will we expect bear, Vanaram, Ella will Sandhya Vandanam? But Vali does Sandhya Vandanam. Hanuman wears Janeyu. Correct? That's one thing. Second, he says Moonj, which is from a grass that particular Janeyu is made. Generally we wear it in thread. Kshatriyas will wear it in metal. Vaishyas have to wear it in chanel, jute. What is this grass? Because there is a work called Gobali Sutram which says some of them can use munja grass and wear. Why Vanaras wore? That's a different question that doesn't fall under the ambit of this lecture. So Vamana underwent Upanayana and he asked his mother, what should I do? His mother said, your older brother Indra has become poor. He has lost all of it in Silicon Valley Bank. All the shares have gone down. So you retrieve and come. For that, what should I do? Go to Bali's house. You remember? 5.5 minutes back I told you Prahlada had a grandson called Bali. Where is his Bali? Vamana is Bihar. Where is Bali? Gujarat. That place is called Bhrigukacha Kshetram. Bhrigukachapam is called Baruch in Gujarat. It is by the banks of river Narmada. Swami, you are telling new things. We thought Kerala mein hai. Nahi. Bhagavatam states Narmada Uttara Tade. It clearly states. Then where is Kerala? Because after this avataram happened, many centuries and millenniums later, the rishis and the munis who lived in Kerala, they congregated and they propitiated Bhagavan, stating that day you took Vamana avataram, we weren't able to witness that. We wish to see that again. Action replay. When a match is going on, Virat hits a ball and he takes that bat and shows to Anushka. We have not seen that moment. We are out. We have come for lecture. So we will record that and come. When we go home, we will play that. So that is called replay. Replay doesn't mean it is happening then. It earlier happened, you are replaying it. So that replay of Vamana Avataram happened in north of Ernakulam in a kshetram called Trikarkara. Karkrayappan. That is called Onam. Onam comes from the word Trivonam. जैसे कि सभी नक्षत्रों का एक नाम होता है. What happened in Sri Ramavataram? It is clearly mentioned Rama was born in a nakshatra. What is Rama's nakshatra? We are at a different level. You are asking basic jujube questions. நாங்க வேற லெவல்ல இருக்கோம். சங்கரரோட போய் நாங்க பேசுற மாதிரி இருக்கோம். எங்க கிட்ட போய் நீங்க உட்கார்ந்து போய் என்ன நட்சத்திரம் அந்த மாதிரி basic questions. ततश्चद्वादशे मासे चैत्रे नावमिके तिथौ नक्षत्रे अदिति दैवत्ये स्वोच्च संस्थेषु पंचसु ग्रहेषु कर्कटे लग्ने वाक्पत विन्दुना सह. So nakshatram is very important because nakshatra and the time helps you decide the jatakam of a person. So certain nakshatras, every nakshatra will be divided into 4. Every nakshatra will have 4 quarters. In Tamil Nadu, quarter has a different meaning. But here it only means quarter, 1/4. So in certain cases, all the 4 quarters will come in the same Rashi. In certain cases, certain nakshatra padas will go to one Rashi, some nakshatra padas will go to another Rashi. And based on that nakshatra and Rashi, Jyotishya Shastra determines in what dasha you are born. Whether you are born in Shani dasha, Shukra dasha and all of that. Certain children when they are born, they will have a lot of health problems. That means there will be a certain dasha. Certain children when they are born, in the first 5 years, parents will keep shifting houses. Right, so there will be a dasha for that. Certain children when they are born, they will be very cranky, crankier than other kids. Then there will be a Chandra dasha there. So this is how we speak from Jyotishya Shastra's perspective. दक्षिण भारत में उसी को जातकम बोलते हैं और उत्तर भारत में उसी को कुंडली बोलते हैं. बस उतना ही अंतर है. So nakshatra, for Rama it was Punarvasu. Vasu in Sanskritam means wealth. Anything is wealth. Gold is wealth, aurum. Silver, wealth, argentum, Ag. Iron is wealth, Fe, ferrum. Silica is wealth. Boron is wealth. All forms of wealth, in some way or the other, Mother Earth will give us. Since she gives us wealth, Vasu, she is called Vasudha. On this Mother Earth called Vasudha, we are all there distributed in different continents, yet we are all one family. Family is Kutumbakam. That we are in different places, yet one family, Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are one family. Vasu means wealth. Those who are born in this particular asterism constellation, even if they end up losing their wealth, they will gain it back. Back is called Punaha. Punaha Vasu becomes Punarvasu. So that is how each nakshatra has a name. Based on the nakshatra, you will come up with a jataka. 2 years, 3 years back, in 2021, when Sarvavyapi Corona was in the third wave, second wave, Delta, that time I directed a Sanskritam movie called Shakuntalam. So that Shakuntalam movie, looking at the description, I had to hire characters. So for Dushyanta to play the role, don the role of Dushyanta, the protagonist, I had to check for someone with broad shoulders, thin waist, tall personality. Then I found one aspiring actor called Shubham from Haryana. I called him up. I said, see, we are planning to direct a Sanskritam movie. You'll have to learn the dialogues in Sanskritam. Are you ready, Shubham? He said, sir, बचपन से मेरा शौक था कि मैं एक संस्कृत चलचित्र में आ जाऊं. So, आ जाओ. Called him. So 4 months of full training in Zoom. And he was very quick to pick. He'll pick dialogues very easily. He'll practice very well. And he was good. There was a finesse in his acting. So whenever there's a finesse in fine arts, we generally say that in the Jatakam, that horoscope, Shukra is in a very good position. Only if Shukra is in a good position, they'll sing well, they'll dance well. Even when they make a lasagna, the presentation will be very good. Presentation and finesse will be excellent when Shukra is in a good state. I didn't know what was his nakshatra. So I asked Shubham, what is your star? Tell me your nakshatra. Salman Khan. So, one of the nakshatras is called as Shravanam. In Sanskritam, Shravanam means listening. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Mandaram, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, Iti Pumsarpita, Vishno, Bhaktische, Navalakshana. One of the foremost skills in bhakti is to listen. Shravanam. There is one nakshatram called Shravanam. It is called Shrona Nakshatram. Have you heard any Shravanam stars here? Shravanam star na tevi Shahrukh Khan chalo. Who? Your daughter. Anybody else? Even you can tell your family member. Oh wow, we have got Shravana Nakshatram. Shrona. So the Shrona Shravana Nakshatram in the Tamil language has a different name. It is called Tiruvonam. Since Aditi and Kashyapa birthed their son on the day of Shrona, which is Tiruvonam, the birthday of his is called Onam. We call that Onam, right? Because it comes from the star Tiruvonam. When I went to Kerala last year for lectures to Tripunitura, they said, "Sir, Onam secular festival aanu." I said, "How can it become secular festival? It is based on Hindu calendar, Onam. This is the only religion that talks about Onam." Allah said, "Mammuka celebrate." Let Mammuka celebrate. But this is a nakshatra for Vamana Murti, and there is a perception on Onam, Bali Chakravarti will come and supervise. Nothing. That is all not there in the Shastram. It is the birthday of Vamana. Why will Bali Chakravarti come and supervise? Pinarayi Vijayan will do that. Why will he come? So, Bali Chakravarti was the one who had amassed a lot of wealth, disproportionate wealth. He first seizing disproportionate wealth. Illegal means he didn't pay taxes. All three. So when all this, and he was an administrator, king. So that is when Indra had lost his position, he had lost all his money. So Aditi said, "My dear son Vaman, you go retrieve this wealth for your brother." So Vamana, little boy, dwarf, he held the umbrella with a kamandalu in his hand. He started walking from Bihar till Gujarat. For his short stature, he would have taken months. He finally reached Bali's Yajnavatika. And Bali was a very generous person. Oh, he was very generous, isn't that good, sir? First of all, what he was generous with was illegally gotten wealth. So, he used to distribute wealth. That day that share was over, he said, "Pack up, team, pack up." That time this little boy entered the arena. He said, "Bali." Audio only was heard, video was not visible. So Bali said, "Kahan se aa raha hai audio?" Then when he looked, it was a little boy. He said, "Hello sir, who are you?" "I'm K. Vaman." Because father is Kashyapa, right? K. Vamana. He's from Bihar, so he'll add one surname, K. Vaman Pandey. I am from Bihar से आया हूँ. आप बिहार से आए हो, तो क्या चाहिए आपको? He said, "I need 3 measures of land." You want that in the Long Island? Or where do you want it? He said, "Sir, wherever, that is a different thing. But I need to measure. I have got my own vernier calipers, I will measure." He said, "With what will you measure?" "With my foot." Bali said, "Oh, that foot is just invisible. Where is it?" He said, "I will measure, don't worry." While he assured that little boy that I will grant those 3 measures of land and you can measure, Shukracharya took notice of this. You remember 13 minutes back I told you of Shukra and a Jatakam, finesse, lasagna. So Shukracharya saw his dear student Bali talking with this boy. He held his hand, pulled him by the side and said, "Bali, don't turn towards the boy, just keep looking at me. Tell me what the boy asked." Bali said, "That little boy who's so charming asked for 3 measures of land. And what did you say?" He said, "I'll grant you." Go back to him and say, "I'll get back to you shortly." In the corporate world, if someone mails you stating, "I'll get back to you shortly," it means he'll never get back. Become the customer care. You say, "I'll get back to you shortly." Tamilukkaga ondrai eluttam. For English breast, you do all that. Say, "I cannot give." Why, Swami? Why? When some little boy is asking, isn't it my duty to give him something? Yes, but this is not that boy. This is the same boy who came as Narasimha and tore open your great-grandfather's stomach, abdomen. Why has he come? Don't know. What should I do? Tell him I cannot do. That I can't do, Swami. I have promised him that I will do. Bali Chakravarti said, come what me. This is not an electoral promise that can go unfulfilled. Right? I have to fulfill that promise. So he went, he called Vindyavali. Vindyavali was his wife. Oh, kamandalu leke aao. I don't know Gujarati because he spoke in Gujarat. This incident, I don't know, I only came cho majama. And rest I know some words like dokla, fafra, khandvi, theka, chunda, undio. These are all the names that I know. Anything else I know only che after that. Kamandalu leke aao che. Hamchu. Now that kamandalu came. Because in those days the terms of agreement that you grant someone was either around fire. That is why in most of our samskaras we go around the fire. Agni becomes a sakshi, witness to an agreement. Today when two heads of state meet, they sign an MOU, right? Memorandum of Understanding. That is around the fire in Prachina Kala. So the unbreakable vow, they say with the wand in the 5th book, right? The order of Phoenix. So all that will happen around the fire. Sita kapindra kshanada charana rajiva hemo jwalanopamani sukriva rama pranaya prasange vamani netrani samam sphuranti. So they went around the fire. But here he said, I need to grant him 3 measures of land, so I will do that through water. That is why in Kanyakadanam they will use water. Pani Grahanam, Kanyakadanam, you must have heard of this samskara in most of the Hindu vivahas. So they will use water. So he said, Vindyavali, Pani dalo. He tilted, water was not coming. It was like California tap. Water is not coming. What do I do now? That is when he said, Kya hua? Plumber ko bulao. Swami, I checked the appointment, he'll come only after 2 weeks. This boy said, I've got loads of other appointment. I cannot keep waiting. Grant me. Water is not coming. Plumber is not available. What do I do? The boy said, don't worry. I always carry the toolkit with me. Why do you worry? So where is the toolkit? Sharp grass. You do any samskara in your house. एक हवन कर लीजिए. वो जो priest, पुरोहित जी जो आते हैं हवन करने के लिए, वो खुद उनके साथ लेके आएंगे दर्भा, is kusha grass. I don't know if you have seen that in the real state. It will be green grass. It will be very soft. Then you will have to cut it in a certain way on certain tithis. Then you will have to dry it under the sun, like fryings. Vada, kaya vikrama, you have to dry it. When it dries up, it becomes sharp. Have you seen darba grass? It will be very sharp. Now when Yajurupa karma comes, you will have to wear it around the finger. Through that you wear that pavitram. So when we sit for a samskara, we should note everything that we do. We should not do a samskara for namesake. Arey, aaj to karna hi padega. Sir, kitna time lagega? 45 minutes, okay. What do we do after 45 minutes? That 40 minutes we should spend our time. You do that Sandhya Vandanam even for 3 minutes, that's 2 minutes you should see Gayatri Devi. If you recite Vishnu Sahasranamam, at least for 2 minutes you should see Narayana in your divine eyes. That is the purpose. It should not be doing the tick mark. Aaj Vishnu Sahasranam ho gaya. What are we serving? That should help us, right? We should become a better individual than what we were yesterday, the previous day. So when we look at a Hindu samskara, take note of it. Since we are deficient in the language in which most of our mantras are, and all our mantras are not in English, everything he says we will be doing. He'll say Kashmira phalam nivedayami. What he says is take this apple. For that we'll be like this. Kashmir phalam. Kashmir se kya aata hai? Phal aata hai. Okay. Later stones came, but now we have apples. So Kashmira phalam nivedayami. So in that they will use darba grass. Remember, in Srimad Ramayanam, Ravana keeps coming time and again to Ashokavanam to lure Sita. He brings a beautiful rising border with Paithani bottom and Banarasi brocade at the top with a pallu of kalamkari. He keeps impressing Sita. You don't get such exquisite garments in India. All this is for you. She says, I left all of this and came with Rama. Why will I need rising border and organza? Correct. I am happy with this. To denote all that he has presented to her is absolutely worthless. It's like a worthless bauble. She plucks a blade of grass and keeps it in front of him. Trinam antarata krutva pratyuvacha shuchismita, says Valmiki in Sundarakanda. So, darbha grass is also meant to say that what you are doing is not enough. In case you don't, I sit on a pitam. If you see, this is a pitam on which I sit. In case there is no pitam. For example, I had come, there is no pitam. What should you do? Shastram says, keep 2 darbha grass and sit on it. Darbha grass is an asanam. So this boy was carrying darbha grass. He said, I've got a toolkit with me. Took a blade of grass and he had to clear the passage for the waters to pour from the Kamandalam. What was blocking the waters? It is believed that there was a bumblebee. Who was that bumblebee? It is said that the Shakti of Shukra had penetrated that bumblebee. Because Shukra wanted to somehow stop this process. Bhagavan knew that when somebody is being extremely charitable and the other person stops, the person who stops incurs a greater papa. See somebody, they know that there is an orphanage. The lady of the house wants to give $1,000. That mama comes, you should not stop someone from doing charity. That's very bad. So Shukra stopped Bali from doing this charity. So Bhagavan thought, I need to punish him immediately, instant justice. So he took the darbha grass, pierced it in that opening, and it struck one of the eyes of the bumblebee. Thereby Shukra lost his eye. So Shukracharya is without one eye. He applied in Shankar Netralaya. Now he is awaiting that eye. You know, there is a great composition called Sri Shukra Bhagavantam. Has anyone heard of it? Sri Shukra Bhagavantam. Navagraha Kriti by Muthuswami Dikshita. 250 years back he wrote on Shukra. Because if Shukra is in a good position, you will get very good wealth. Adnan Julva Tamil Shukra dasa adichud tumba. Vakramscha Nicha Vakrocha Nicha Drekkendradi. So very strong position of Shukra. In that Muthuswami Dikshita says, Keshava Katakshaika Netram Shri Shukra Bhagavantam Chintayami. Keshava Katakshaika Netram. Keshava is Vamana. Kataksha Eka Netram. He gave one eye to Shukra. What did I say sometime back? He took away one eye. Correct? Why did he say he gave one eye? Because in management there is a traditional example. They'll show you one water bottle with water. It will have half water. They'll ask what is it. Then you have to say it is either half full or half empty. If you say it's half empty, half an hour, the teacher will give a lesson. Don't see the negativity of life. See it in a positive way. So what is the correct answer? 2 mark question. You have to say it's half full. Oh, you're seeing the positive of life. So Shukra had 2 eyes. One eye was taken by Vamana. But Muthuswami Dikshita says, take it in a positive way. Keshava blessed Shukra with one eye. He could have taken that also. But he left right. So Keshava Katakshaika Netram. See, when guests come home, we will take an andas se lenge ki how much should we cook. Imagine that day, surprisingly, whatever we have cooked turns out well. Incidentally, it may happen on some days. So, and a person who comes home is extremely enamored with the deliciousness of the food, and he consumes that food, leaving little. After that person goes, we have to eat. Are you eating if somebody asks, Adda, itu nodu vechittu poirukka. Keshava Katakshaika Netram Shri Shukra Bhagavantam. That Shukra's eye was taken by Vamana's Darbha. In that Darbha, Sudarshana was there. So Shastram says, Krishnambodasya Bhusha Nayanam Vyakatir Bhargavasya. So in the horn of Matsya, tattoo, the mudra of Kurma, in the horns, the tusks of the wild boar Varaha, in the nails of Narasimha, in the Darbha of Vamana, it was Sudarshana. Now Ramavatar. Sir, Ram ko to do hi aaj the. There is a point here in Srimad Ramayanam. Hanuman meets Rama for the first time in Kishkindha Kanda. Till then Hanuman and Rama have not met. No sir, in one of the cartoons that we saw, little Hanuman, while he was very young, he ended up meeting Ramji in Ayodhya. All this Ramji meeting and all did not happen. He was from Karnataka. He is from Uttar Pradesh. He was having dal and chapati. He was having curd rice. He didn't meet at all. Then Rama comes in search of Sita. They enter Karnataka. That is when Sugriva says, Hanuman, go and check who these two gym-bodied men are. They are consuming whey protein, बहुत bulky है, देखो. Hanuman goes, oh bit borrow, not bit borrow. So this borrow went. And he saw, now he has to go well dressed. Because Hanuman is a Banara with a pucham. What is pucham? Tail. And he speaks Sanskritam, flawless Sanskritam. That will send shock waves to the recipient. Imagine one bear coming in front of you somewhere. And bear is speaking Sanskritam to you. Swaminaha Bhavatyaha Sannidhim. That bear is speaking. You will run away from the bear. If Hanuman speaks Sanskritam, how will Rama tolerate? So what Hanuman did was he applied foundation, eyeshadow, tied one rubber band to the tail, inserted it inside and went like a Brahmana. He stood before Rama and said, Ayatascha suvrittascha bahavaha parigopamaha sarvabhushana bhusharhaha kimartham na vibhushitaha. This is what he spoke to Rama in Kishkinda Kanda. Rama was amazed. What is so amazing, sir? He spoke 2 lines in Sanskritam. Anybody will speak. Baba Ramdev also talks. What is so special? Here, Hanuman has done something very unique. Rama came with 2 hands. We have seen Rama only with 2 hands. You see Ram Lalla, you see Rama Vigraham. Here he has got only 2 hands. In Sanskritam, one arm or hand is called Bahu. That is why, what did Prabhas act in? Bahubali. Correct? Bahubali. Strength in the arms. This is what Ramya Krishnan gives names to that little boy. Strength in the arms, Bahu. 2 arms is called Bahu. So Bahu means 1 arm. Bahu means 2 arms. Rama has only 2 arms. But Hanuman says Bahavaha. Bahavaha means only if there are more than 3 or more than 3, you use the word Bahavaha in Sanskrit. Rama had only 2. But Hanuman said Bahavaha. Why? Because, no sir, Hanuman was very poor in grammar. He didn't do that well. No, he was Navavyakarana Pandita. No normal person, he was a grammarian. For that the commentator says, Yadva Hanumato Chaturbhujareshena Rupo Abhavat. Only to Hanuman's eyes, Rama ended up showing all the four hands with Shankam, Chakram and the bow and the quiver of arrows. So seeing four hands, he used the word Bahavaha. So Chakram in Rama Avataram was visible to Hanuman. That is one greatness. In Krishna Avataram, this is the most loved of all avatars. Why? He is a very realistic person. Rama is very idealistic. He'll say, just wait, there's a stop signal, we need to stop. It is 35 miles here, we have to go by that. 11th is the deadline, we'll have to do it by 10th itself. Krishna is not like that. He will go in 65 when it is meant to be 35. But still he will not get the ticket. That is Krishna. Yeah. சில பேர் ரூல்ஸை பிரேக் பண்ணுவோம், ஒரு பெனால்ட்டி வராது. நம்ம மாமா ஒரே ஒரு நாள் பிரேக் பண்ணிடுவார், $500 கல்ல எடுத்து மாமா தப்பி. So Krishna is very realistic, most loved, because he made himself that accessible to his devotees. Take Rama, he is loved by all of us, respected by all of us. There was one lady who loved him immensely, Shurpanaka. She lost her nose. After that, nobody dared give a proposal to Rama. A lot more can happen over a cup of coffee. Nothing happened. There was only one Sita. Whereas Krishna Avataram, had Shurpanaka proposed Krishna, she would have also been a Pattamaheshi. Of course, Sannidhi got Shurpanaka not she or Mami ko bol de poi manita de. So Krishna was overloved. And he did not bother about what others will think. When Krishna was born, he was born with Shankha Chakram. Tamadbhutam balakam ambujekshanam Chaturbhujam Shankha Gadayudhayudham Shri Vatsalakshmam Gadashodikau Stubham Pitambaram Sandrapayoda Saubhagam Maharavaidurya Kirita Kundalatvisha Parishvakta Sahastra Kuntalam Uddhama Kanchingala Kankanadi Bhir Virochamanam Vasudeva Maikshata. When he was born with 4 hands inside the jail premises. See, Rama was born in the palace. Krishna's birthplace, Mathura jail. If he has to fill an application form, place of birth, Mathura jail, cell number 301. He was born with Shankha Chakra. Looking at the glory, Devaki said, my brother will run towards you to just kill you. I request, mother is requesting, till my brother is there, keep those 2 hands carrying Shankam Chakram hidden. He immediately listened to his mother, hid those 2 hands. That is why after Kamsavadham, at the age of 10, Krishna is summoned by Kamsa through Akrura to Mathura. Krishna manages to vanquish his maternal uncle, a tyrant, wicked person in a duel. And after killing Kamsa, he has got 4 hands. Sir, क्या Kamsvat के बाद कन्हैया का 4 हाथ था क्या? हाँ जी. पर नीतीश भारद्वाज के पास 2 ही थे. बिहार चोपड़ा ने ऐसा दिखाया था. मैं क्या करूं, चोपड़ा जी नहीं डिस्कोर्स सुनते हैं तो. That is why you should listen. Tomorrow bring more people. You tell him you are saved from one day. ஒரு நாள் தப்பிச்சுட்டு இன்னொரு நாளை கூடுங்க எல்லாரையும். If they ask what language does he speak in, Indian accent English. Give me 2 more years, I will be acquainted with the fast and the masters and the route. I will come. So, Krishna had 4 hands. How do we know? In Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna is giving Upadesha, in the 11th Adhyaya, Vishwarupa Adhyaya, he shows his cosmic form. Arjuna says, Krishna, I am unable to fathom this form. Come back to your original state with your 4 hands. Svenaiva rupena chaturbhujena. So Chakram comes there as well. When he was a little boy in Gokulam, he used to love a fruit called jamun. In Tamil it is called naval param. Kannadadalli ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಏರ್ಲೆ. ನೇರಳೆ ಹಣ್ಣು. ತೆಲುಗುలో ఏం చెప్తారండి? జామున్. You know that jamun fruit? In മലയാളത്തിൽ എന്താണ് നാവൽ പഴം? ഹിന്ദി में jamun. ये हिंदी रहना है. Jamun, right? Jamun. So this was the fruit mentioned in the Puranas that Krishna used to love, and this was not easily available in the vicinity of Gokulam. So there was one fruit collector who used to be in the forest, and she used to collect those fruits, clean them up and carry it in her basket and walk by the streets of Gokulam, shouting the name of the fruit, because you know, in Bharatadesham, if you've spent some reasonable time, they will shout the name of the product that they do. And we will not know the name of the person who's selling. We will call them by that fruit's name. Naval Padam, Naval Padam! Katrikai, Katrikai! Or Kullamadana Puchu. Yeah. Third, thank God he's not selling the broom. So here Krishna said, oh, that lady is selling jamun. And it was barter system. In Prachina civilization, it was barter. You never had coins, right? So you had to barter. You had to give something that the fruit dweller wanted. And that was grains. So Krishna was the son of Yashoda and Nandagopa, the chief of the clan, Gopa clan. So he carried handful of grains and would walk from the backyard to the front yard where the fruit seller was. And traditional houses of the villages were row houses. So they used to be long. So you have to cross from the backyard and come to the front yard. So by the time that bulky body Krishna used to walk, all the grains used to fall within the crevice created by the 2 palms. So by the time he would come to the front yard and wanted to barter it with the fruits, there would be only one grain left here, the other grain here. Nothing left. He would say, give me the fruits, and she would look at the palms, take those 2 grains, keep it in her fruit basket and give him jamun. Even Krishna felt so bad that he had nothing to offer. He said, oh, you seem to be extremely knave. You are not taking any grains from me. I wanted to bring them for you, but they all fell. What should I do now? That lady said, that's okay. That's okay if you don't grant me the grains. You seem to be so ignorant and innocent both at the same time. She said, no. Grant me something that I wish. Krishna, what do you want? Grant me moksha. Krishna said, how did you know that I grant moksha? Sujata rekhatmaka shankha chakram tamrodaram tasya kararavindam vilokayantya phalavikrakanya. Hey, phalavikrakanya, how did you know? She said, I see the impressions of chakram and shankham on your palm. I have heard from my grandmother that the one who carries the insignia and the marks of the shankham and chakram on the palm is Paramatma who grants moksham. Why will I take a poundful of grains when can I get moksham for free? Give me moksham. So the chakra mudra, Sudarshana mudra in Krishna's palm gave way to her recognizing the Paramatma. Sujata rekatmaka shankha chakram tamrodaram tasya kararavindam vilokayantya phalavikrakanya. So chakram was found on Krishna's palm. Where else does chakram feature? Dhritarashtra through Gandhari had 100 sons, all useless. One thing that was common between them was uselessness. She also desired a daughter. So Vyasacharya, while the production of the 100 happened, helped in the production of that XX. Right? XY is male allele. XX. So that was called Dushala. Dushala was given in marriage to the king of Sindhu Sauvira Pradesham. He was Sindhu Desha Raja called Jayadratha. Sindhu Desham is the current day Karachi region. So he was called Jayadratha. Jayadratha, in the exile period of Pandavas, wanted to abduct Draupadi. He was a characterless man. He wanted to abduct Draupadi. Draupadi, as usual, that's Bachao! Bachao! She was shouting, and finally Bhima and Arjuna went, rescued Draupadi, pulled Jayadratha. Yudhishthira said, as per Article 54F and 94B, you cannot kill this person because he is our sister's husband. Then we will end up making our own sister widow. Then you do a new haircut for him. So, one haircut, what is it? Riser, you can draw 3-4 lines. So, all this was done. So, it was called a punishment in those days. So, now this man went and sought the boon of Mahadeva, who granted him the boon that whoever pushes your head on the earth, they will die. In case you are killed, if somebody pushes your head, whoever beheads you, they will die. So in a boon he had obtained a twofold way. That is, nobody should kill me. If they kill me, the person who kills me should die. So everybody was very careful about fighting Jayadratha. With this boon with him, he misused by attacking Abhimanyu in Mahabharata Yuddham on the day of Chakravyuha. He did not let the other 4 Pandavas, barring Arjuna, to enter Chakravyuha to assist Abhimanyu. So Abhimanyu died. A very, very nasty battle that day. Abhimanyu died. When Arjuna learns that in a way Jayadratha is the cause of his son's death, he vows that he will not allow Jayadratha to see the next day evening, which means prior to the sunset, he will kill Jayadratha. So all TV channels took note of this. Nation wants to know what will happen to Arjun tomorrow. So the next day people guarded Jayadratha because Duryodhana knew if Arjuna fails that day, it means end of the Mahabharata Yuddham, because Arjuna will jump into blazing fire, Arjuna will die. If Arjuna dies, Panchapandavas will lose a big pillar of support, and if they lose a pillar of support, there's always every chance for the Kauravas to win and Duryodhana to become the heir apparent and then the king eventually. So they keep fighting. It is mentioned in the Panchanga. Panchanga is the almanac that says that 6 p.m. is the sunset. Till 5:50 they were fighting. Jayadratha was nowhere to be seen. 10 minutes left for Arjuna to prove his mettle by killing Jayadratha. But Jayadratha was not to be seen. Suddenly at 5:50, 6 o'clock was a sunset. Mentioned in the Panchanga. Most of the times it is accurate. 99% accuracy in prediction. 5:50, there was darkness all around. So they thought the sun had set 10 minutes earlier. And Jayadratha said, now I wish to see that wretched Arjuna jump into blazing fire. All cameras were focused, CNN, Fox. Everything was focused on Arjuna's death. It was blazing fire. Arjuna got down from his chariot and with his head down he walked towards the blazing fire. Krishna said, Arjun, dare. When you're dying, take the bow and the arrow also with you. Arjuna said, well, dying, why should I? Somebody will they go jump into fire, take AK-47. Why will I take? He said, Jo bol raha hu wo karo. So Arjuna took Gandiva, arrow, and walked towards the fire. Krishna said, I want to see one last pose of you fitting that arrow and that bow. Ek pose dikhao. Ek selfie le leta hu. So Krishna took one selfie for Insta Reels. He took one selfie. And Arjuna was there. He was supposed to jump into blazing fire. All of a sudden, there was again sunlight. The sun had not set. Jayadratha had come outside to check from the cave of the mountain to check how Arjuna is dying. The moment the sun came back into the horizon with its all glorious rays, and then Arjuna was standing with the bow and arrow ready, and Jayadratha was spotted, Krishna said, see, the sun has not set, there is Jayadratha, shoot an arrow. It was shot. Now Krishna said, see, he has obtained a boon that whoever beheads him will die. You have beheaded him, but ensure that you don't push his head on earth. What should I do? Now put the input statement. You program it in such a way that the head should be taken to Jayadratha's father's lap. So the head was directed to Jayadratha's father's lap. The moment Jayadratha's father saw his son's head on his lap, he pushed it down on the earth and he died. Right? So when he died, Jayadratha too died along with his father. Then what happened between 5:50 and 6 p.m. sir? Sudarshana of Krishna had covered the sun. So Sudarshana comes there. In the Tamil composition on Muruga Kartikeya called Tiruppugal, Arunagirinatha says, Muttittar Pattittir Nagayattikiri Shakti Charavana Muttikkur Vittikkur Varayana Vodum Mukkat Paramark Churudi Murpattad Karpittiruvar Mupattu Mubarkattamararu Madipena Pattala Vatta Kanedudu Vachekere Mattai Purudur Patta Padavattatti Iravaga Pattakiratate Kadavia Pachai Puyal Mechittagur Pakshattodu Rakshittaruvadu Murunale. So Sudarshana comes there as well. So Sudarshana is found everywhere, sir. Everywhere. Where else? One important thing, whenever this is Somavara for Mahadeva, Rudramurti, on the day of Somavara or especially on Pradosham, there is a practice of reciting Shatarudriyam. It is called Sri Rudram. Sri Rudra has 11 Anuvakas and Chamakam has 4 Anuvakas. 11 plus 4 is 15. There is a Mangala Shloka. Om Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikagni Kalaya Kalagni Rudraya Neelakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha is the Mangala Shloka. Then you begin with Yataishu Shivatama Shivam Babhuvate Dhanuhu Shiva Sharavyaya Tavataya No Rudramridaya. This is how the Anuvakam begins. In that we say Tripurantaka. Tripurantaka means it is believed in the past that there were 3 Asuras, Vidyunmali, Kamalaksha and Tarakaksha. They sought the boon that they should have fortresses, their places of stay made in AU, AG and Fe, gold, silver and ferrum or iron. So they believe that these fortresses should be moving wherever they want, and wherever they want it should get stationed, and it will thereby destroy the habitat of people, thereby bringing a catastrophe in the lives of people. See, remember when we read our Puranas, Asuras are very hard-working people. All Asuras will work very hard to receive boons. After that, they don't know what to do with the boons. Bharadiyar, the Tamil poet, says, Nallador Veenai Seiden Adai Nalankeda Purudiyil Erivadundo. When you are well educated, when you come of a very good upbringing and family, when you end up using words that are abusive in nature, when your demeanor is very harsh towards people, then what is the use of being educated? If education doesn't serve you that purpose, this is meant for all ages, especially for the younger generation, as a good friend. I have no rights to advise. I am nobody. I am a little man, a primitive mortal, a worthless bauble. I can only suggest. Using abusive words even in colloquial language is wrong. Every word that we say should serve somebody's purpose. Every now and then using cuss words and bad words, it doesn't add any glory to our upbringing and education. Education is just not to obtain a good job and making money. People can make money different ways. If making money is the objective, you don't need to be educated at all. Education serves only one purpose, to make you a civilized and a very seasoned individual. So words that we utter should be very good. All our actions should be only for the welfare. But these three asuras, they worked very hard to only torment people. They had obtained a boon. See, all this is a reminder of a fact. How they obtained is different. Why do these asura charitrams help us? That death is inevitable. If we don't realize this, we are again away from all our dharmic knowledge. That is why our acharyas say that the body is not permanent in nature. Shiryate iti shariram. In Sanskritam, sharira means body. Correct? Deham means body. You ask AI, it will say body and body, sharira, and they both mean body. Both mean body, but they mean differently. Shiryate iti shariram. That which keeps reducing in size is called shariram. That which keeps increasing in size is called deham. So if you have seen someone 2 years back and they have put on weight, you should say, what happened to your deham? If somebody has lost weight, then you have to say, what happened? Shariram, what happened to your shariram? Because they have reduced. Shiryate. Shiryate means reducing. That which reduces is called shiryate. So it is called shariram. So the shariram is meant to increase or decrease because it is perishable. That body which we protect with such moisturizing lotion, anti-aging cream, PRP treatment, they centrifuge and then they sprinkle. That hair that we keep on changing colors. You know, when I went in my Atlanta flight in 2018, Shastram says Bhagavan has gold hair. Somebody had painted their hair like Lasit Malinga. So Hiranya Keshaha. So all this body that we do, all these piercings and everything, one day when we die, they will put it like cookies inside the tray and we will come in one bottle full of ashes. Peripa enge bottle Peripa. This entire body that we have preserved, whey protein, organic, A2, grass-fed milk, all this will become a bottle, Horlicks bottle full of ashes. So the only thing that is Bhagavan's favorite is the Atma. This Atma will keep going body after body. Now we are in Long Island. Next Janma we don't know Ukraine. It could be, we don't know. Afghanistan it could be. It could be Indonesia. It could be India. It could be Outer Ring Road. Silk Boat Junction, anywhere. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam. How does the philosophy of life be? It is like a cycle. What is the cycle? Sudarshana. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे भज गोविन्दम् गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्कृङ्करणे भज गोविन्दम् भज गोविन्दम्. So these asuras did not understand the elixir of life, that death is inevitable. They thought that we can escape death by asking something as improbable as. They said all the flying fortresses of gold, silver and argentum that we possess, gold, silver and iron that we possess, should come in a straight line and a single arrow should pierce all the three. It is very tough because when you have x1, y1, x2, y2 as coordinates in a graph, you can connect it with a straight line. x1, y1 to x2, y2, one straight line. x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 is very tough because you may not have a straight line connecting all the three coordinates. That is when there is a technique called the line of best fit. It will still fall either out this side or that side of the line. But when it was calculated by the Devas, it was found that on the day of Pushya Nakshatra, I told you remember 1 hour 20 minutes back about Punarvasu Nakshatra. Correct? You remember Shrona, Shravanam. So the next Nakshatra after Punarvasu is called Pushya. How many of you have Pushya Nakshatra? Pushya means Pusam na chulva Tamil. Pusam. See, Pushya, very good. Pushya Nakshatra is special. I'll tell you why. In Ayurveda, see, in allopathy there is no such belief. In English medicine there is no such belief. If the doctor gives you metformin plus glimepiride combination or vildagliptin combination or telmisartan, you have to take it. If he says morning, you have to take this, night, you have to take this, you have to take it. You cannot say, no, this is Rahu Kalam. Let me take metformin after Rahu Kalam. Medicine is only Rahu. Medicine can Rahu Kalam, Papa. Yeah. So in English medicine, there is no belief that you have to take it in this Rahu column. Whereas in Ayurveda, there is a belief that when you are choosing certain Bindu Kalpam, you have to take it on the day of Pushya. It is believed that on the day when Pushya Nakshatram is there, the efficacy of the medicine will be higher. So Pushya Nakshatram is Pushye Jatastu Bharata. Rama was born in Punarvasu. The next day Pushya, Bharata was born. When Rama was to be sent to forest, he was first to be made the king on this day, on his birthday, Chaitra Punarvasu. Next day was Chaitra Pushya. But Manthara came, brainwashed, he asked for those boons and then Rama agreed and he left. So he left for the forest when it was Chaitra Pushya. When should he return? After 14 years or Chaitra Pushya, then only it will be 14 years. But we are told every year, Deepavali ke din Ram Ayodhya aayete. Will Kaikai give 5 months concession? Because of your good behavior, Ram, you can come on Deepavali and enjoy sweets, motichur laddu with us. No, she will not tell. So why is Deepavali? Deepavali is not celebrated because Ram returned to Ayodhya on that day. Ram did not return on Deepavali's day. Dashara, no connection with Ramayana. I don't know why they shoot at Ravana, they will shoot arrows. That Ravana effigy will burn. It has nothing to do with Vijayadashmi. Remember this, see, the beauty is when we speak from the scriptural perspective, people will think, nahi, inko pata nahi hai, ye hai, jo hai na, ye, unka utna knowledge nahi hai. जो विकिपीडिया बोलती है वो तो पूरा सत्य है, सत्यम सत्यम पुनः सत्यम. See, Deepavali and Dashara have no connection with Ramayana. Deepavali has Ganga Snani Sambandham, that's all. Rama returned in Chaitra Pushyam, which will come in the April-May period. March-April period. That's all. So in this day of Pushya, the Devas said all the 3 fortresses will come on the straight line, shoot an arrow. Shiva took the earth as the chariot, the sun and the moon as its wheels, the 4 Vedas as the horses, Brahma as the charioteer, Meru mountain as the bow, Vasuki snake as the string, Narayana as the arrow, and Sudarshana as its tip. So Sudarshana became the tip and destroyed the Tripuras, Harapura Ploshakarana. So in the horn of the Matsya, in the mudra of Kurma, in the tusks of Varaha, in the nails of Nrisimha, in the darbha of Vamana, in the parashu of Parashurama, in the arrow of Rama, in the real form as Krishna, in the tip of the arrow of Shiva, Sudarshana is found everywhere. So Sudarshana also is denotive of the life's philosophy that what goes down will always come up. That is why to denote this in life, that everything is cyclic. That's why we say history repeats itself. It is cyclic. Everything in life is a cycle. When as a little child, when I ended up being very naughty and troubling my grandmother, she would say, see, you will know how much pain I am undergoing when you have a child. Now I realize. So it is cyclic in nature. That is why they say, क्योंकि सास भी बहू थी. सास भी मामी और நீங்களும் மருமகள் தானே நீ என்ன எப்படி படுத்தினோ மாட்டு பொண்ணு படுத்துவோ. That is also cyclic. So Sudarshana denotes the philosophy of life. Life is not linear. It is cyclic. What goes around comes again. So Sudarshana is that depictive of us. Now, I am sure with so many dharmic astikas, Bharatiyas who live in and around this county, this place, the astikas of this temple have got together with the grace of Alvars and Acharyas to have the noble intent of having a beautiful dwelling for Bhagavan. It is very important that they found it worthwhile, merit-worthy to have 2 lectures on. I'm sure some of you may have had the trouble because it's weekdays. Both Monday and Tuesday that we have these lectures are weekdays, but I'm really sorry I couldn't help because the other lectures were pre-decided a year back. I've made 3 trips to the US this year to over 14 cities and delivered about 53 lectures as of now. So I have 7 flights this time, 4 red eyes. So Monday and Tuesday are the lectures scheduled in this beautiful temple. And they thought even if it is weekdays, it's fine. We would like to listen to something that is very, very beautiful from Sanatana Dharma, our scriptures. So the temple astikas have got together to organize these 2 lectures with their noble effort of construction. I'm sure they seek your support. So level 1 support is bring in astikas tomorrow. See, I'm sure those of you who have been hearing this lecture, some of you may be new to lecture, some of you may be hearing this for the first time. Some of you might be used to listening to such pravachanas, such upanyasas since your childhood because your parents, your grandparents would have listened to them. But there are very many dharmic people who would have never had exposure to Shastras. I absolutely endorse and commend the initiative by movie directors and OTT makers because they want to bring the essence. But nothing can match listening to Ramayana, listening to Mahabharata. Watching makes you conditioned that you have to see Rama only as Ranbir Kapoor. See, Ramayana says Rama had large eyes. Gambhiramba samudbhuta sumrishtanada ravikara vikasita pundarikadala amalayate kshanaha. If you take the petals of a newly blossomed lotus and attach it, it will be that large. you may find it a bit confusing if you look at Ranbir Kapoor. So that is why movies and OTT series shouldn't be the basis for understanding dharma. They are just additional tools. You are bored of it, you have made some nice cookies at home, you are not getting proper sleep even after listening to my lectures. Because one of the biggest good side effects of listening to Ramayana Pravachanam is you get good sleep. Try this. Then watch those OTT series. Don't make that the basis. Everybody will come to me, sir, Kriti Senon wore this beautiful sari in this movie. See, Kriti Senon is not the basis for dharma. She was paid 2 crores, so she acted. That's all. Sai Pallavi, that she is also there. For us, Vyasa and Valmiki are our Adhara Bhutas. Nothing can match listening. Shravanam is the biggest asset. Keep listening. When you have long drives, because I had one 3-hour and 44-minute drive today from New Jersey today. I didn't miss Bangalore. I am from Bangalore. I didn't miss it at all. See, in Bangalore, I do pravachanam inside the car also. There will be one car, the other side will be coming along. That window will be down, this window will be down. It will go, Janavasa will go, so I will be doing pravachanam. So when you have long drives for work, either to your university or workplace, trust me, listen to Ramayana. Begin from the day 1, 9 days Ramayana, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours you listen. Next go for Bhagavatam, next go for Mahabharata. Make it a cycle, keep listening. When you're working out for 45 minutes, listen. Somehow people will keep the jarring music in the gym. I don't know why. At least engross yourself in Ramayana. You won't listen, you won't even be cognizant that you have done 45 minutes of your cardio. Because you'll be involved in Mahabharata, Ramayana. Keep listening. For that, tell people, your friends around tomorrow, that there's one person, he speaks okay. So bring them here for tomorrow's lecture. Tomorrow's lecture is on Tyagaraja Ramayana. I want all Astikas to come, especially bring Telugu Astikas. Mana bhasha gurinchi matladutunnaru varu. త్యాగరాజ రామాయణంలో ఉన్న అన్ని సాహిత్యం అలాగా ఉంది. తెలుగు తేట అంత చెప్తారు కదా. తెలుగు భాషలో సామాన్య జనానికి చెప్తున్నప్పుడు తెలుగు తేట అంటే సచ్ ఎ స్వీట్ లాంగ్వేజ్. సుందర తెలుగుని పాటి సైతు భారతి గారు కూడా పాడారు తెలుగుకి. సో బ్రింగ్ తెలుగు పీపుల్. ఐ ఎమ్ నాట్ అల్లు అర్జున్. ఐ నో ఐ ఎమ్ నాట్ ప్రభాస్. ఐ ఎమ్ నాట్ Daggubatti. I am a normal person, Dushyanth Sridhar, with no biceps, nothing. But Tyagaraja Ramayana is an asset. You will understand how bhakti of Tyagaraja towards Rama is so very superior and priceless. So bring them, because Ramayana itself is beautiful. Tyagaraja Ramayana is an addition. It is like icing on the cake. Cake is nice, but icing on the cake. I told you about the donations that the temple seeks. Please make liberal contributions. They have a certain benchmark that they wish to achieve in these 2 days. Please make them achieve. Bring more astikas. Bring more astikas of all languages. I quote whatever little I know. I may not be the best in Sanskritam. Yeno sari maatado kannadalli yeno ashtu shuddhate illa. Kuvenpu thara maatadta illa. Anantnag thara maatadta illa. Nam Dr. Rajkumar idru nodi. ಅವ್ರ ಥರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರ ಥರ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ I would have received Dada Sahab Palke award. I am a normal Dushyanth from Yelamka, so how will I do? Ivar pesum Tamil. See, today Tamil has gone to the state. Enna sir ivar Tamilliye pesa maatengiraru. Tamilல பேசுறார் sir, ivar Tamilல பேச மாட்டேங்கிறார். யா வந்துட்ட தமிழன் கிடையாது. 200 ரூபாய் வாங்கிக்கணும்னா பிரியாணி பாக்கெட்டோட அந்த தமிழ் கேட்டுக்கொள்ளுங்கள், சொல்லுங்கள், நாக்கு பிடிச்சி தேக்காம ஒரு தமிழ் பேசணும். ஸோ வர மாட்டேங்கிறது இது தமிழனே கிடையாது சார். தமிழ்னா அந்த ஸ்டாண்டர்டு 70 அப்படி சொன்னா அவார்டு 70ங்கிறார் சார். 70 என்று கூறலாமா இவர்? விழா எப்படி வரலாம்? நான் வந்தால் இவர் தமிழரா? So I speak all these languages. My Hindi, I don't know. Jaya Bachchan will refuse. She refuses everything. She will refuse my Hindi also. But tomorrow bring more astikas and tell them one day of torture only you will have. Bring them for Tyagaraja Ramayanam. Pavamana sutudu patu padara bindamulaku ninama rupamulaku nitya jaya mangalam rajiva nayana tyagaraja vinutamaina ninama rupamulaku nitya jaya mangalam mangalam kosalendraya mahaniya gunatmane chakravarti tanujaya sarvabhaumaya mangalam. Now